Welcome back everybody for another video of Virtual Warfare, text-based roleplay fighting tutorial series. And today's video, I'm just going to be giving a little detail about my character Xin. Explaining some things about Xin, and just that's it. So not going to spend too much time on this video. So without further ado, let's go. So as we can see, first is the unnecessary information, which I call it things like the name, how old I am. Well, nobody cares about that. Well, I don't care because I'm fighting, and I'm not going to ask you how old you are or care about how old you are when I'm trying to fight you. So, this is something that, that doesn't matter, But I give species, gender, blah, 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 blah. But let's go with the appearance, because appearance is something that the opponent looks at. It's something that the opponent sees when he's about to fight. So I'm not going to read everything, every word for word. So I'm just going to give a little, a general description about what's being said. So the body, of course, is, Xin's physical body, his structure, his weight, his height, his hair, and stuff like that. This is important. You can write it. You don't have to write it, but, it's important because it's part of your character. The next is the adornment. Adornment is, practically the clothes. The clothes that he's wearing. As you can see, I didn't go too deep into every stitch in my my jacket. I just said what the jacket was, what color it was, the fabric, and that was it. I could have gave the length. I could have gave all these extra intricate designs on it, but I didn't have to. Because it's not something that's going to be used in a fight. I have to wear clothes. I don't want to run around naked, so I have to put clothes on, but I'm not going to get too deep into details because one, I'm not really a role player, I'm a fighter, and two, I'm not going to use it later on in the fight, so I don't spend too much time on it. So moving on with the inheritance. The inheritance is the power of Xin, what type of power Xin has. So Xin is actually a transcendental mentalist, and if you don't know what that is, you can actually look up a YouTube video, The Transcendental Mentalist, and it talks about Xin's nature, or Xin's species, or what he is, or whatever. Proudness is the ads' advertisement, which I don't know what it was, but I'm tired of these ads. Keep popping up. Notice that this. Anyway, I'm gonna just keep going. So the proudness is proudness is Xin's capacity to be as strong as he is, as fast as he is, as aware as he is, and this is the proudness that Xin has, to Mach 1, pretty much the MP level, so it's pretty much that's what it is. The ordinance of Xin is Xin's weapons, and Xin's primary weapon, which he really don't use anyway, is Omni, and Omni is a Sword of Dreams, and the Sword of Dreams comes from Xin. So pretty much the essence of Xin is the essence of Omni, and vice versa, and so pretty much that's what this is. His secondary weapon is a flute, Chinese flute called Silent Melody, and he uses it to manipulate sound. He does this by manipulating the molecules of air molecules. That's how sound travels. His hidden weapon is a dagger, or a throwing needle, as you should say, and it's called Wu. And Wu means nothing, literally means nothing. And but this weapon can transform into any size. I'm not going to exaggerate the size, make it a 4-story building size sword. But this sword can, it says right here, this sword can be from a strand of hair to a buster sword in a matter of milliseconds. So milliseconds can be 2,000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. But still, a matter of milliseconds. So the assault tactics is how Xin attacks. His preferred way of attacking. So short range attacks, he uses his electrical potential to create plasma balls, and he can use this type of method to manipulation to manipulate earth, wind, fire in the same way, and also water. I forgot to say. With long range attacks, he can use Omni. He uses Omni to project these type of elements or plasma. But when he does so with Omni, it gains strength, and it gains speed, and it gains he can also uses less exertion when exercising these projectiles through Omni, and this comes in with the laws of exertion, like I was saying. The laws of exertion plays perfectly with this type of activity. So moving on with direct attacks, and this is another thing. Direct attacks is Xin is able to transfer a part of his consciousness to a person, but after he touches the person, this is something that people can use to not override, but to unban the abilities of like blood manipulation and stuff like that, and telekinetics and stuff like that, because it's the weapon, the ability takes about 3 seconds. So so 1 second, Xin would have to be holding the person for 1 second. For the other second, Xin would have to be focusing to activate his ability, and for the other second, the ability will be activating and transferring and affecting the opponent. So it takes 3 seconds for this move to work, and this is something also used for the laws of exertion, which simulates time and space. So this is the time and space, the time that it takes to go through these processes, and the space between these processes, which is three steps, contact, activating, and I'm trying to make this video fast, so my thoughts are moving so fast I can't grab one. so it's contact, activating, and affecting. So those are 3 things, the 3 steps, the 3 spaces, and the time frame is 3 seconds. So I spent too much time on direct attack. So burst attacks is pretty much the same thing with short attacks, but you can use it in a bursting way, like shotgun burst, or you can use it in a rapid fire way, like a Gatling gun, or you can even use the energy to make a shield around it and just burst out in a spherical way to burst the energy out all over the place. Special attacks is a lot because I don't want to share I don't want to share everything, because a lot of people like to plagiarize things and steal things. I'm sure all of us have gone through that experience as role players, so that's something I don't want to do right at this moment. Armory, Xin doesn't wear any armor, but he can make his body stronger and make his body more dense. So he's able to have the density of like adamantium or super diamonds, stuff like that, if he charges long enough. So the more he charges, the harder or the more dense his body can become. His shield style is the Meisner field, which is the Meisner field is a field where molecules, electromagnetic currents can't enter and they cannot escape. So scientists use this type of field to levitate a frog. And if you look up videos on the Meisner field levitating the frog, you can actually see this being done. So this is what Xin uses. The concept he uses to block certain attacks, but he can still be affected by the kinetic part of it. Healing factor, healing factor is locked because, one, I don't want to explain my healing factor technique, and 2, a lot of people don't heal in battle anyway. So it's like, what's the point of really like going all out of explaining my healing factor when it's not really going to be used anyway? But to give a hint, it's used just like the direct attack, So, the same way it takes 3 steps and 3 seconds for the direct attack to work, the same way it takes for the healing factor to work. So the emergency procedure is Xin when he's unconscious, his body, the mechanism to restore his body, just like when you sleep, your body gets restored by shutting down certain organs and feeding energy to certain parts of the body to restore it, like the spinal cord and stuff like that. The same thing goes with Xin when he gets knocked unconscious. When he gets knocked unconscious, or something happens to him, that state of unconscious, that consciousness, his body develops, or his body can get recharged in a supernatural way, as it says right there. I'm trying to explain in a simple way where it's already simple enough right there. So that's pretty much the emergency procedure. Personal information, triggers. Triggers is Xin's trigger is when when you see one of his loved ones or someone he's loved getting hurt or, you know, getting beat up or whatever, it just automatically get triggered and he just, you know, become enraged, or all this power comes out of nowhere. This is, you can use this for a battle, you know, which is, you know, and certain triggers you have to use, you know, but like, you know, this can be used in battle because if it's a real role play fight, like with dialogue and stuff like that, your opponent might say something, and you know, you can use that to your advantage to say that your opponent, your character gets triggered by what the opponent said, and energy come out of nowhere and stuff like blah blah blah. But it says right here, you know, after this, it could make Zen very tired, you know. So this is like, you know, this is like in Dragon Ball Z, like a Kaioken times 10 or whatever, you know. Like you can get this burst of energy, but after it's done, you'll be significantly tired, and you just won't be able to, you know, use your energy anymore. So this is what this is. The exercise of faith is pretty much what Zen believes in, and I actually had the perfect. Sorry, I had to pause for this. So it pretty much is the exercise of faith of what Zen, you know, what he believes in. You know, he fights the good fight. You know, he goes into battle with fighting the good fight, even for his enemies. You know, stuff like that. So this is what. That's what it says. I think that's what it says. No, I'm sorry. I got these two mixed up. I'm sorry about that. So I'm gonna just read the exercise of faith and the Call of Duty and call it a day. So the exercise of faith. During his early ages of growing up to an adult, though he was taught in the Buddhist way, Zen always wondered about the truth of life, until one day the words of perfect love was given to him in spirit form when he could no longer find the answer to satisfy him. Now, knowing that doctors and murderers alike all need a sense of love in their life, and offering himself as a living sacrifice to do so was his exercise. Zen fights the good fight in the battlefield and hopes others can see the same spirit through his example. So this is who he is when he fights in the battlefield. This is who he is when he goes into the battlefield. Call of Duty is similar, but this is the motivation and the mentality that Zen has. So let's read it. So it says, Zen always had a calling of a hero, someone who heals the weak and protects the innocent. Though through this, Zen developed the mentality and motivation of a savior to help bring peace and harmony to the destructive areas around him. When it comes to the battlefield, Zen can be a complete different person, but the heart of compassion and understanding for someone's weaknesses will always be with him, even for his enemies. You know, so you know, even though my enemy is, you know, and my enemy, if my enemy shows some type of humility or shows some type of compassion, I'm not going to. You know, I'm not going to stomp on my, like, get out of here. I don't care about it. You know, I'm going to acknowledge it and, you know, maybe even, you know, call it a draw, or, you know, say, you know, you win, you know, forfeit the fight and just be friends after that. And this is what Zen purpose is in the roleplay world, or, you know, whatever. So I know this is not the best video. It could have been more. It could have been more informative. It could have been more engaging, but I really just did this to like to add the content to Virtual Odyssey, so other people can share their own ideas, so I can add it to the channel, so other people can get the recognition. I don't want the recognition. I got enough recognition with Virtual Warfare, and you know, that's what I'm gonna do, Virtual Warfare. But Virtual Odyssey is for everyone else, everybody else's gifts and ideas and videos and, you know, stuff like that, things that they want to share for role plays and stuff like that. So this is what Virtual Odyssey is for, and that's pretty much the end of the video. Stance is, you know, it's a lot because has a lot of informative information and secret information, or just, you know, stuff that I don't want to share to the whole world, because, you know, not everyone wants to share all their talents, everyone. So it is what it is. So that's pretty much it. This is on Zen's Virtual Warfare Nino. It's dead, so don't come to it. So I don't use it anymore. I just use it for information and videos like this. Okay, so it's not active, but, you know, if you want to visit, see what's on there, do whatever you want to do. I just thank everybody for watching this video. Thanks for subscribing, and stay tuned for more videos in the future, and stay tuned for more ventures. Thanks for, I said that already. I'm just get out of here. Deuces.